I'm going to talk to you about a book called The Portable Film School. Everything You'll Learn in Film School Without Ever Going to Class by D.B. GILLES. I'm doing a video this way because I want to take you inside the book. Instead of just me talking about it or pointing out certain topics that I feel are important, you get to actually look at the book yourself right here. The book was published in 2005, and not all the information is irrelevant, but the technology has changed, obviously, since then. So he talks about film and Super 8 cameras, stuff like that, but I don't know many people who use Super 8 cameras, to be honest. The book is designed like a classroom. You know, he talks about curriculum, and he's got what he calls lectures or chapters, basically. And, it's different topics, obviously, like screenwriting and others. But I'm just going to take you through it. I'm not going to go in depth or anything. I'm just going to call attention to some of the notes I made. Like this one. Why all screenwriters are directors. He says screenwriters are directors. And he says what these screenwriters don't realize is that when they sit down to write their screenplay, they're already directing it in their heads. They're acting it too. Probably saying the dialogue they write to themselves as it pours out. And he goes on about that. He says that as a screenwriter, you have to decide on three basic things. Where's the movie set? Who will be in the scene? And what is the dramatic purpose of the scene? He says that every scene has a beginning, middle, and end. I don't know if he says that here, but he does say it. The directorial voice that is important. And he says the difference between a screenwriter and a director is that the director will find ways to dramatize what the writer has put on the page. Each of them, the director and the writer, has a very important job when it comes to movie making. And here's lecture 1. First, get the story, then worry about how to tell it. Let's see. It's all about the story, really. You have a good, strong story, and then you make the film, you see. But make sure your story is tight. Make sure it has a beginning, middle, and end. Life is not transferred to fiction, but transformed. You see. And here's lecture 2. Embrace the rules. I say do that to some extent, but it depends on what you're writing. He says you get technique from practicing the rules. Some films are, anti-rules, anti-structure. He says 12 storytelling must. You have to have an inciting incident. You have to have a theme, I guess. I mean, you do, but some movies probably don't. The hero must fail before he succeeds. You can learn this kind of stuff through the Save the Cat books, actually. Character arc, satisfying ending. And it says here, some of your best ideas will come from other people. That's true to some extent, I guess. And he has short writing exercises, Writing, just the act of writing is important. It is an exercise in itself. Like here, find 5 dramatic situations that would make good short screenplays. But I want to get back to this, writing the short screenplay. Don't run a marathon before you can do wind sprints. Like this, you write something short. And then you move up. But that's not always true. It depends on the person, I suppose. You don't always have to write something small before you write something big. You know, it just depends. That's all. And yeah, look from within, you know, your experiences, and draw from those experiences in your own life. And there you go. Rewriting. You know, rewriting is part of writing. It's necessary because not everything is going to come out perfect. And he said he had a fear, you know, before knowledge. And it's important to have knowledge. Know what you're going to do first. Filmmaking. And these are some tips on how to make your screenplay better. You know, like get the script as tight as can be. And you have to understand when your script is ready to go or when it's actually not. And he talks about whether you're using your own money or not, getting help, and teach whoever is helping you, etc. You know, and directing the actor. He says, what does a director do? The director tells people what to do. They show their vision to the actors, and the actor translates that vision. That's basically what a director does. Let's see. Filmmaking pitfalls. Yeah, that's the thing. You want to take more shots. You want to have more than less. You want to have a lot of options, a lot to work with. You know, that's not just in movie making too. You know, you got to use a storyboard, even if you can just only draw stick figures. Let's see. Not doing enough camera setups. Yeah, you need to do that as well. You know, like, here's what he offers. Follow this basic rule. In filmmaking, it's better to have too many scenes to choose from than not enough. That's like I just said. It says to think like Hitchcock. Okay. Know about lighting and sound. You know, there's whole books on lighting and sound that you can get. You can probably get them off of Amazon or eBay. Like sound effects. I've always been interested in sound effects myself. You need to have a clear vision in your head. You don't want to go out there and not know what you're going to do. You need to be able to tell your actors what you want to do. Here's another one. You need to have respect for and understanding of editing. Those are very important jobs. Lights, camera, action, editing. He talks about mini DV tape. I don't know if anybody's using that. Maybe? I don't know. You know, this is, you know, the result of using a better camera means that you have better lenses and, you know, better color, better resolution. And that's probably true today, obviously. But I think cell phones have improved so much that you could almost shoot a short film on your cell phone. And editing, sound effects, and when you're ready to shoot a film. You know, this book isn't just about screenwriting. There's a lot in it about shooting your own film. And then he goes back to dialogue and characterization. I prefer this over the filmmaking part, just because that's what I'm interested in right now. And he says, tell nothing, show everything. I agree. When your characters talk, have them reveal only what is necessary to further the story. Shorter is always preferable. Try not to go over 4 pages. Yeah, reading 4 pages of dialogue is taxing. I'd rather see action. Before you break the rules, learn the rules. And that is true. You need to learn what the rules are. But that depends on what you're doing, though. If you're a strictly experimental artist, then you don't need to care. Screenwriting. There's all kinds of tips on screenwriting. You can buy dozens of books on screenwriting. But he's a big believer in outlines and writing a treatment. And treatments. This is what a treatment is. They're just basically a story written for a motion picture. It's a story without the dialogue. That's what it is. It goes scene by scene and writes out everything in detail. Let's see. That was a firework, not a gun. In my old neighborhood, that would have been a shotgun. I'm just kind of scrolling through here because I don't know if you want to read that on your own, that treatment, you could. Long before there were screenplays, there were screenplays. There were plays. The screenplay it's a script for the screen, and plays are just plays, He talks about the different structures, the well-made play, and that's where screenwriting came from. Let's see. You could probably still use that form today if you wanted to. And he talks about reading a lot of screenplays, doing your backstory. The inverted pyramid is interesting. They use that in journalism. Inverted pyramid is one of the first tools of writing a journalism student is introduced to is the rule of the inverted pyramid. This is a clever device in which the most important details of a news story should be in the first paragraph. And then you work yourself down to the least important. See? These are just questions about your script, your character, your subplot, and so forth. Let your characters talk. Let them talk, but always move your screenplay forward, your story. And then endings are a problem for everyone. I suppose, but you should know your ending. At least that's what I think. Know your ending first. Finding your voice and drama. Comedy was before that one. And, diving headfirst in your full-length screenplay. Let's see. Use Final Draft. Don't worry about what these guys say about formatting. Final Draft to do it for you. And create your own cinema department. Watch a lot of movies, read a lot of books, read a lot of screenplays. That's his advice, that's my advice too. You should always have conflict in your screenplays. Character should have an arc. Sex scenes, well, those are less common these days as they were years ago. Let's see. How to avoid getting screwed in Hollywood. Some of this information might not be so relevant today. I'm sure some of it is, like meetings and stuff like that. But you want to register your screenplay with WGA or one of them. Avoid people without a plan. But that all depends. Not everybody's a screenwriter, so you can be friends with anybody if you want. And it says here, don't just see movies, read screenplays. Read screenplays and subscribe to magazines devoted to the film industry. Let's see. He's got some recommended reading. I'd say go to Amazon and find the latest books. I got this book, I think it was at Goodwill. Maybe it was eBay, I don't know. But I was just interested. And I think you should read from a variety of sources, no matter how old they are. Although, if you're reading about how to break into the film industry, I would say read a newer book. Anyway, that's all I got. Thank you very much for watching.